Rick Roberts, and this is another episode of Around the Block. I am excited to be with Bishop Ed Peecher, the COO of Together Chicago. We are in the Westhaven Park neighborhood of Chicago. Just around the corner is the United Center where the Bulls and Blackhawks play, and we're going to take a walk. Bishop, why don't you tell me a little bit more about yourself?
Well, I grew up on the south side in Ida B. Wells Project, and at the age of 18, during the unrest of the civil rights era, I heard a speech from Fred Hampton. And it was after I had seen the kids of the Southern Christian Leadership Council on a video doing a sit-in at one of the diners, getting beat up. And I thought, holy smokes, what gave these kids all of this courage? And it humbled me, it challenged me. I could not sit behind, or sit on the sidelines. I had to get into the struggle. But I didn't have enough courage to get in the fight without fighting back. So I heard Fred Hampton, and he was the leader of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panthers. So at 18, I became a Black Panther, and I engaged in the struggle for justice. That was my motivation. Wow. The thing that motivated me was a struggle for justice. And then when I was 23 years old, I met the true revolutionary, Jesus Christ. Wow. And I asked him to come in my heart, and then that was in November of '73, and by 2 months later, I was enrolled in Moody Bible Institute. So I attended Moody, got my Bible training at Moody Bible Institute, and then I had a career in the phone company, and I worked there for 17 years. In the meantime, I was discipled by the Navigators. I was starting a Bible study everywhere I went. Wow. And I started one at the downtown offices of AT&T. And how y'all doing? Hey, how you doing? Man? Good? All right. Downtown offices of AT&T. And that grew into the first church I planted. And it was at first called the Hyde Park Fellowship, because we were meeting in Hyde Park. Then it became New Heritage Christian Center, and it morphed into Chicago Embassy Church. Wow. And so I did that for 20 plus years, and just recently turned it over to one of the young men who came to me when he was 9 years old, and now he's pastoring the church. And the Lord has called me to be part of what's happening with Together Chicago, and here I am.
So we're in Westhaven Park.
Yep. Tell
me a little bit about this neighborhood. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, actually. Tell me a little about this neighborhood, what we're doing here tonight, and what have you seen God do with this? So, how y'all doing? Hey, good to see you. Everything good? Did y'all get some pizza? Yeah. All right, good.
This is the former Henry Horner. This used to be a Henry Horner housing project, and I'm familiar with the project, amen, having grown up in the Ida B. Wells project. Yep. So I know the project dynamic, and we've taken on the assignment to the thing that we do with Together Chicago citywide. We got an opportunity to focus all of that on one community. Yeah. And we've had some spectacular results since we've been focusing our attention. In about a year and a little over a year, this has become an island of tranquility. With the spike in murders all over the city of Chicago and the spike of violence all over the city of Chicago, there is phenomenally low, more than historically low, phenomenally low violent incidents in Westhaven Park. Wow. We had one stretch of 116 days straight with no violent incidents at all. Wow. And then we had one shooting, and then we're experiencing some more consecutive days with no violence at all. And I think it's part of the concentrated effort of business and education, but more than anything, it's the mobilization of the church. Yeah. See, the Lord blesses businesses and he blesses education, but he only commissioned the church to be salt and light. He said to his disciples, you are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world. And when we get out of the salt shaker and get into the place of rottenness, then the Lord can use us. And that's what's happening here. We we help mobilize the church and church members in this community, and it is really making an impact on this community.
Yeah, that's really great. And you know what? I'll tell you what. We usually don't do this, but I'm going to put a link in the video below. We'll have a link. We'll share a video of you sharing kind of your story. You've got some really awesome stories, and I think we've got some on video.
Okay.
And we'll put a link in there so people can, if they want to hear more about the peace campaign and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They can watch.
We've been at this for a while, and we didn't know what we were doing at first. But as we continued year after year, we began to learn some of the principles and some of the insights, and now we're putting those things into practice, and we're seeing some tremendous results. And now our goal is, we looked at this as an opportunity to prove out all of the stuff we're doing, prove out the theory, as it were, and it is working with some phenomenal results. And so the next thing is now to scale this whole thing up to the entire city of Chicago.
That's awesome. Now, so that leads me to my next question. Now, normally when I do this with friends of mine and people that are doing things in their neighborhoods, we're talking about how important it is to know your place, your neighborhood, to be able to understand what's going on there, to be present, to be there for a long time, to know things.
Yeah.
Now, you're unique in that you have been able, God's allowed you to do this in different parts of the city, south side, north side, west side, all. And if you don't know Chicago, they're all unique micro cultures in themselves, and differences in there. So tell me how you've been able, how God has been able to really allow that to happen in so many different places.
There's a period in time. One, the Lord, when we had our mayor before this mayor, his first term, he wanted to bring casino gambling to the city. And I, in a small group of ministers, less than 20, I challenged him. I said, Mr. Mayor, you cannot bring this form. He wanted to bring video gambling and put it in the Thompson Center or in City Hall. And I said, you know, the studies say, Mr. Mayor, that is the most addictive form of gambling. It's like the crack of gambling. And you want to bring that, and some of the fellow ministers shut me down and wouldn't allow the question. So the mayor was off the hook. He didn't have to answer the question. And then I got off the invitation list. They wouldn't invite me to those meetings. I found out about the meetings, those kinds of meetings, 2 days, 3 days after the meeting. And the Lord spoke to me. He said, he's the mayor of the city, but you're a father in this city. And that was an eye-opener for me. And as a father in this city, I just leaned into that role. So it's remarkable the acceptance that I've gotten all over the city of Chicago. It's not because of these good looks. I know you're noticing that.
I love your shoes. I always check out your shoes. You know that, right?
But it's not that. It is God has put this grace on me to be able to draw churches from all the denominations together behind an overarching mission. Because I've been a pastor for 20 plus years, and I know the burden, 30 years, I know the burden on pastors' hearts. I speak the language of pastors, and there's an overarching vision that pastors can really resonate with, and we have no difficulty calling them in to be a part of this vision.
Yeah. Well, I've got one final question. It's one I love to ask everybody. You've shared a lot of great stuff, and you've learned a lot of things over the years doing that. There's somebody that is in their community, in their city right now, that has a passion for bringing people together, for praying. What is one tip that you would give them to encourage them to tell them?
Prayer.
There you go.
You know, there's no overstating the importance of prayer. If you bathe the thing in prayer and you pray with faith, it is so. The Lord, here's the thing, the Lord showed me how to pray. I think he showed everybody. It's in the Lord's Prayer. When you pray, he said, pray like this: Our Father which art in heaven. When you lead your prayer with how big and large and great God is, your faith is elevated to whatever problem that you're facing. It is so small in comparison to the God that we serve. And your faith rises up when you pray to the God of the universe, not the God that's down the street that can be overwhelmed by this problem, but the God who has numbered the stars in the heavens, the trillions of stars in the heavens, and has numbered the hairs on your head, who have the angels bowing prostrate to him. That God, when you put that problem that you're facing against that God, there's nothing but faith that overcomes that. So prayer is the key to everything.
That's so good. That's so good. Thank you, Bishop. Appreciate you having taken the time. Appreciate the faithfulness.
Appreciate it,
and yeah, good to see you, man.
You too.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Awesome. That's it, bro.
One take, man.